Hey everyone. Do you guys have the TuB'Shevat pamphlet from the email open?
Uh, I do.
Nice. Hello. Welcome. This is the TuB'Shevat Megan as we all arrive. And I want to say happy full moon to everyone. I love that we're doing this seasonal TuB'Shevat celebration under the full moon, which is a big circle, a reminder of the cycles and rhythms of life. And I think the moon always reminds me that we're never stuck and we're always continuously moving forward and spiraling. And the seasons also allow us to tune into the outer rhythms of the external world, but also our inner seasons and exploring the phases of our own being. From year to year, to moment, we're always evolving. And that's what's so beautiful about the Hebrew calendar, is that we are not ruled by the sun, and the sun is always predictable. There's a hierarchy. It's always rises and sets in the same way. It's the world of predictability. And we're humans. Humans love predictability. We love stability and sameness, but it's just not the way we were created. And the Hebrew calendar goes by the moon. And the moon reminds us that we're always in this flux of ebbing and flowing. And some of us are in our full moon phase, and we're at our light and we're shining and we're ready to offer. And other times we're at our new moon phase, the dark moon phase. I'm just going to turn this down a little bit. And we can start to feel where we're at as we explore these seasons. So Jill Hammer speaks of this time of Shvat, especially the 15th of Shvat under the full moon, as the rising sap. The Gemara says, what is the marking of TuB'Shevat? It's the saraf, the sweet nectar of life that starts to rise from the ground up the tree. And the saraf is the heart of the tree. So even though above ground, we may look around and it looks like we're in winter, there's a cold chill, we don't see any external changes above ground, but TuB'Shevat marks the arousal from the ground, from beneath the ground, from the darkness, really, from the places we don't see, the hiddenness. It's the subconscious layer that is starting to bubble up, and perhaps we will begin to feel an arousal of some sort, a budding, a blossoming of new life, new experiences that are just starting to spiral upwards. And right now in the season, ice is starting to break. The blood is pumping in animals. They're starting to get hungry, looking for food. And the trees are enlivening. So it's really a great time to celebrate the seasons. Just like a tree experiences all the seasons, and the tree is circular, the rings of the tree, we also are, man is a tree of the field, or woman is a tree of the field. So we also have those seasonal changes. And right now we're at the most positive seasonal change from the dormancy and the darkness and uncertainty of winter below the ground. We're starting to get that spring consciousness of life. And what better way to start than under the light of the full circular moon? So let's just go around, whoever's live here, and let's say our name and one word of how you are feeling right now. You can put your hand on your heart and I'll start. I'm Jenna and I'm feeling hopeful.
Hi, I'm Jessica, and I feel inspired.
And
I'm Nami. Oh, sorry.
no, you go ahead, Nami.
I'm Nami. I'm still feeling wintry, like that cold feeling.
All right, I'm Michelle, and I'm feeling inspired too.
I'm Ariella. My feet are cold right now, but my heart is warm.
Oh, I love that. And speaking of the heart, I said that the seraph is the heart of the tree, and the heart is Tiferet in the tree of life. We resemble the divine energies pumping in the world, pumping in the body, and Tiferet is the heart of the tree of life. And Shvat, from TuB'Shvat onwards, is the realm, the time of Tiferet. So it is a warming of the heart. And Tiferet means compassion, it means beauty, it means harmony. And when we think of Tiferet, it's one of the divine names of God also. And it's the aspect of God that is like the compassionate listener, that the prayers from our heart are being heard, and that the compassionate divine presence. So that's the feeling that we're going into right now. And in the body, the Tiferet is the heart and the whole torso, which is the trunk of the tree. If our body is like a tree, the trunk is the Tiferet, and that's like balance. It's where all of our energies intermingle and connect from the right side to the left side, which is in the tree of life. We have Chesed on the right, the left is Gevura, the center is Tiferet. And also it connects the above intellectual spherot with the lower instinctual spherot. So it's a really, it's a time of healing and healing from the heart. Specifically, Shvat heals the vegetative layer of creation. There's 4 levels of creation. The vegetative layer is just the physical substance, the health of the trees, the health of our body. It's the time to rectify our sense of eating and pleasure. And so as we partake in the fruits and in the wine, just remember that this is a time of shefa, of abundance, of divine pleasure. We're invited to just enjoy God's creation. The tribe of the month is Asher, which is connected to Ashrei, fortunate, abundance. He was blessed with abundance. And so to allow ourselves to enjoy, and that takes on the form of our healing. So, and I want to point out one line. There's a lot of writings in the pamphlet, and we're not going to read all of it for time's sake, but in the last paragraph, in that first intro section, I've just been reading this line over and over from Jill Hammer. She says, the mystics who conceived the TuB'Shvat Seder imagined God as a tree with divine light running like sap through its branches. They believed eating a simple fruit could release sparks of divine light into the world. I love that visual, and I hope that we can start to feel the warm sap through us, through our branches. And another metaphor, the Zohar says that this world is the tree of life, and the souls, we are God's fruit on the tree of life. So I thought that was really beautiful. So we're going to go into the number 4 so that we can start the process of the Seder. There's a quote of the source of the 4 winds. Does someone want to read it? It's under the 4 winds.
I will. Okay, Shevat is the season connected with fire, with the element of air. allowing the winds of change to sweep through and move us. Our ancestors taught the tree of life has 500,000 kinds of fruit, each differing in taste. The appearance of one fruit is not like the appearance of the other, and the fragrance of one fruit is not like the fragrance of the other. Clouds of glory hover over the trees, and from the four directions, winds blow on it, so that its fragrance is wafted from world's end to world's end. Yalkut Bereshit 2.
Can someone read the Zohar right after it? The Zohar, the Kabbalah.
I will.
Yeah.
Okay. Fire, air, earth, and water are the sources and roots of all things above and below, and on them are all things grounded. In each of the four winds, these elements are found. Fire in the north, air in the east, water in the south, and earth in the west.
So the Kabbalah brings that each element has a direction. And I want to just stop for a moment and appreciate that the Zohar brings this visual of we're in divine space. We're in a divine cube. We're always surrounded by the divine presence. And also in the terms of the tree of life, spherotic energies, the divine energies, we're also surrounded by those energies. And the four directions are a reminder that we are embraced at all times by the divine presence. And we are in the center. So to the right, we have water. To the left, we have fire. In front, we have air. And behind us, the earth. And there's a lot of teachings about these four directions and their significance. Also, the divine tetragrammaton, the name of God, there's 4 letters in God's name, and they also correspond to different directions. So the yud of God's name is to the right, and we'll explore what this means a little bit in each step. The hey is on the left, the vav is on the front, and the hey is behind us. And you see the number 4 so much in Judaism. We have the 4 exiles, the 4 redemptions, the 4 mothers, the 4 cups of this Seder and the Pesach Seder. We have the 4 levels of creation, the four stages of God creating the world. There's probably so many. If anyone can think of any more, please just say them. There's so many. And then, of course, the 4 seasons that we're celebrating. Can anyone think of any others? The 4 sons at the Pesach Seder. And then the 4
malachim, like Michal, Ariel, Gabriel.
Oh yeah,
Ariel.
the angel. Yeah, and each direction corresponds with an angel. So it just feels like we're never alone. We're in divine space, and we're in this circle. And one of the names of God actually is Makom, which means place. And when we can find our center in a physical place and be attuned to all the directions, it also allows us to be more cyclical in our nature. So much of our day is linear in the masculine mode of front and back, but any like embodiment work is moving to the sides, up, down, and the seasons remind us, and these directions remind us of the natural rhythms of the circle and circle consciousness. We just came out of the parsha of Miriam, the splitting of the sea, Miriam holding circular tambourines, and all the women in a circle. And this is a Kabbalistic paradigm that we're moving from the line, which is masculinity, towards the igul, the circle, which is inclusive, which is equality, which is transcendent and encompassing. And that's the feeling we want coming out of the Seder, is, if anything, to feel like there's growth there's change, there's movement, and we're out of our linear cycle or our linear mode into the more circular realm. Does anyone, if anyone at any point wants to share or wants to ask something or comment, just feel free to like chat something, or we want to hear from you. So feel free to be here as much as you like. I want to begin with the 4 seasons breath before we go into the world. So each part of the breath, there's 4 parts of our breath, and each part of the breath represents a season. So the inhale is spring, right? Because you're moving inwards and upwards. The inhalation is the rising, the growth, the lifting, the hope, the revival. We're coming out of the depths. It's like a sprouting. You can even visualize like a blossoming of some sort on the inhale. The top of the inhale is summer. We're at our fullness. Our breath is completely full at the top of our lungs. We feel expansiveness in the top of the ribs, and we feel the abundance of who we are. We're revealed, we're shining, we're like at the top of ourselves. That's the summer. And then there's the exhale. And the exhale is a letting go, a release, almost like leaves falling down. And the bottom of the exhale is winter. The winter is this point of stillness, of hibernation, of retreat, of going inwards. Sometimes it can feel like you're empty at the end of the exhale. But we know that the end of every cycle, even though winter is the end and will end with winter in the Seder, that's really the beginning, because in the ground, then the seeds are germinating and the cycle starts again. So let's try it together. Find a comfortable seat, bringing the soles of the feet on the earth, letting the palms rest on the tops of the thighs, and roll the shoulders back and down, just getting your torso long like the trunk of a tree, the spine lifting and growing. And we'll together begin with an inhalation of revival, feeling that spring consciousness lift in us. Top of the inhale, pause. Feel your shining radiance, the fullness of your summer. And begin to release. The exhale is a down and outward movement. Letting gravity pull you down. And bottom of the exhale, feel yourself empty, still, a place of pure being. And take that breath cycle 3 more times at your own pace. And if at any point in the day or in your life where you feel stuck, maybe in a winter or in any phase, you can return to this breath as a reminder of continuous renewal, that at every moment, the Creator is breathing in us a new season, a new moment of breath and life. So let's open the pamphlet to the chart, just as an overview, glimpsing over the outline of the world. And we have a little song to help remember the worlds with the elements. But in general, the Seder starts at the highest world of Atzilut, so the bottom of the chart. Atzilut is the world of emanation. Then we have Bria, the world of creation, Yetzira, the world of formation, and Asiya, the world of action. And each one of these corresponds to an inner experience. So the spirit, mind, heart, and body, an element, fire, air, water, and earth, a soul level there's 5 levels of the soul. The highest one, Yechida, is not part of the world, but we have Chaya, Neshama, Ruach, and Nefesh. And then the seasons, I wanted to just let you guys know that different people have different interpretations. We mapped the season according to what we felt was made the most sense for us, but there's been many different people who have mapped different seasons for the different worlds. So it's not a science, it's an art, it's a way to explore the Seder in more of a creative way, but it's not like a hard source. The seasons are it's because every season has all elements, of course. So we just wanted to choose the one that made the most sense for us. Do you want to add anything to that, Ariella? In our process of the seasonal mapping?
I'll just say it was really funny because we really could have made every single world any season. And I think that's just a really important part of this Seder is recognizing that within ourselves, we contain each and every world. Like we're not one in life in general, we're not just this or just that. We're so many different things. And the work of existence is finding the balance between each of them and not being like afraid of winter and not running towards summer, but seeing the beauty in each of the seasons and each of the worlds, even though some of them can be harder or more challenging for us. So that's, I think, one of the, I hope, takeaways we come out from tonight. That's it.
Beautiful. So there's the opening prayer. Does someone want to read the opening prayer out loud? And this is from the Fruit of the Majestic Tree, which was the first published TuB'Shvat Seder from Greece. And a student of the Ari, the Rabbi Isaac Luria, which I just found out this week that I'm a descendant of, which is really crazy. Does someone want to read the opening prayer? If not, we could also just read it on our own at your own pace.
I can read it. I think
Yeah.
it's nice. I'll read it.
Okay, please do.
Okay. Please God, who makes and forms and creates and emanates the higher worlds, and in whose form and pattern you created their model on the earth below. You made all of the worlds with wisdom, higher above and lower below, to join together the tent to become one. And you made trees and grasses bloom from the ground in the shape and pattern of what is above, to make known to the children of Adam the wisdom and discernment in them, to reach what is hidden. And you drop upon the trees and the grasses the flow and power of your highest qualities, so we will discern the spiritual strength which is within them. And from your fruit will come the fruit to bring life and nourish the body. May it be willed from you, our God and God of our ancestors, that by the power of the merit of eating the fruit, which we now eat and bless, and are meditating upon the secret of their roots above upon which they depend, that you will make the flow of desire and blessing and free energy, shefa, flow over them, to return again to make them grow and bloom from the beginning of the year until the end of the year, for good and for blessing, for good life and for peace. Look out from your holy abode and bless for us this year for good and for blessing. Bring upon us a blessing of goodness. May the might and majesty of the blessings for eating the fruits become lights in the wellspring of blessings, the cosmic tree, life of the worlds, and may the whole tree return now to its original strength, and may the strength of its rainbow return, and may we see the bow, joyful and beautified with its colors, and from there may the flow of desire and compassion flow over us for blessing, for life, for forgiveness. And may all the sparks scattered by our hands or by the hands of our ancestors be returned to be included in the majestic glory of the tree of life. May it be your will that you will make the flow of desire and blessing and free overflowing energy flow over the fruits of the trees. Then the trees of the forest will sing out, and the whole will return to its original strength, and all will join together as one.
That is so beautiful. So beautiful. I wanted to point out that most people come to TuB'Shevat and they're like, oh, we're celebrating the trees. And it's true that on one level, we're celebrating the trees, plural. But when you actually look at the wording, TuB'Shevat is one of the new years in the calendar. There's 4 new years. There's another 4. And it says it's the Rosh Hashanah of the Ilan. The Ilan is singular. It's a singular tree. That's also my son's name. And he also was born on TuB'Shevat. So, but the Rosh Hashanah of the Ilan. So what singular tree are they talking about? Of course, the reference is to the tree, the one and only tree, the tree of life. In the Garden of Eden, we have the tree of life and the tree of duality, of knowledge. And what's interesting is people often think of these as 2 separate trees, but the Kabbalah teaches that the tree of life and the tree of knowledge were actually occupied in the same space. If you look at the phrase, if you look at the wording, and they were actually one and the same tree. And the only difference is that the tree of life had roots and the tree of knowledge did not. So part of TuB'Shevat is celebrating our roots. And how do we return the fruit to the tree of life, so to speak? When we realize the roots, the source of our bounty, because both trees create fruit and pleasure. When we eat from the world or take from the world, but we don't bless or we don't realize the source of the abundance, the pleasure, we are taking, so to speak, from the tree of duality. But when we take fruit and we say a blessing and we realize where it came from and the source is divine sparks and that the creator is giving us so many tastes and colors and health, and we realize the source of the fruit, then we're putting the fruit, so to speak, back on the tree of life. And that is what we're doing in the TuB'Shevat Seder when we make blessings and celebrating that the tree of life expresses through us as well. That we are one of the branches, one of the fruits. And each one of us also has all the parts of the tree. We have our own roots, where we belong, our ancestors, our sense of home. We have our trunk within us, our core, what makes us who we are, our vital identity. We have our branches where we're yearning, aspiring to what we're reaching for in life, the paths we've chosen, and we have our fruits, the spiritual gifts and offerings that we have to the world. So this is a celebration of us, of the tree of life. So this next 4, because we're in this mode of 4s, is a 4-fold song by Rav Kook. Can someone read this?
I'll read it. Okay. There is one who sings the song of self, and within oneself finds everything. the full of one's spiritual satisfaction within one's own fullness. And there is one who sings the song of nation. He steps out from the circle of his private concern, which he doesn't find sufficiently broad nor idealistically grounding. He strives for fierce heights, yet attaches himself with gentle love to the ensemble of Knesset Yisrael, the Jewish people, and with her sings her songs, shares in her distresses, delights in her hopes. Engrossed is he with thoughts elevated and pure regarding her past and future. With love and wise heart, he studies her inner spiritual essence. And there is one who broadens further her sense of self until it extends and expands beyond the boundary of Israel to sing the song of humanity. Her spirit advances and encompasses the majesty of humanity, the splendorous dignity of its divine image. She is drawn to common destiny and yearns for humanity's sublime self-actualization. From this life source, she draws the principles of her ruminations and investigations, her ambitions and dreams. And there is one who still more expansively rises higher until one unifies oneself with all existence, with all creatures, and with all words. With all of them, one sings. This one engages oneself with Perek Shirah, the daily song of the world creation, to whom it is forepromised that one will be worthy of the world yet to come. And then there is one who arises with all these songs together in concert, all parts contributing their voices, all together harmonizing their melodies, one with another creating polyphonic vitality and life. They are the sounds of joy and jubilation, the sounds of rejoicing and exaltation, the sounds of ecstasy and holiness. The song of self, the song of nation, the song of humanity, the song of world creation. They all symphonize together within this person at every moment and at all times. And this perfection in its plenitude ascends to become the song of holiness, the song of El, God, the song of Israel, with passionate intensity and beauty, with fierce integrity and grandeur. Yisrael Shir El. Israel means the song of God. It is a simple song, a twofold song, a threefold song, a fourfold song. It is the Song of Songs of Solomon, Shir HaShirim Asher Lishlomo, the song of the king in whom the peace is the peace of wholeness.
So it just occurred to me as you were reading the Song of Solomon, well, Solomon is connected to the full moon. So whereas the new moon is King David, the King Shlomo, which means completeness and peace and wholeness, is the full moon. And we're reading his song under the full moon, which is a beautiful recognition. And not only did I bring this in because it's the fourfold song connected to the 4 seasons, 4 elements, 4 cups of wine, but also the element of this month of Shvat is ruled by the air element. And the highest form of air in Torah is song, is the shir, is when we're not singing from our being, but we're more of just a channel of life, of breath, of ruach that comes and flows through us. So I hope, if anything, wine should bring out the song more in us, the air. It's also the season of flowing wine. Beginning today, we start with the 4 cups of wine, going into Purim, where we're drinking wine, and then the Seder, the Pesach Seder, 4 cups of wine. So it's the flowing wine, and it's the song, it's the breath of air. So it's a time of fluidity and movement, and I hope that we can tap into that feeling of flow. So once Ariella returns, she's going to teach us the 4 worlds nigun to help us remember each stage, and we'll begin the Seder with the song once she returns. Any questions, comments, thoughts? Okay, so her baby is having a little bit of trouble. So she'll come back when her baby's feeling better. So I'll try. Oh, there she is. Baby's welcome. Can you teach us the song now? We just talked about the fourfold song of Rav Kook and King Shlomo being connected to the full moon and the element being air, which is the song. And not intentionally, but this is perfect that we're going right into the nigun of the four worlds.
Perfect. Yeah. So this nigun is from Sidur HaKohanot. And it's also takes from a rainbow song, Rainbow Gathering. So it might be familiar to some of you, maybe, maybe not. There are 3 parts, and each part has the same rhythm. So if you can open up the document, you'll see the words. Maybe I'll also put them in the chat. And we'll just sing it together. You'll see that you'll get the hang of it. Here it is. Let me put it in here. Okay, let's start from the top. It goes like this. Earth, Asiya, water, Yetzirah, air, Bria, and fire, Atzilut. So now you guys.
Earth, Asiya, water, Yetzirah, air, Bria, and fire, Atzilut.
Earth, my body, and water, my blood, air, my breath, fire, my spirit.
Earth, my body, water, my blood, air, my breath, and fire, my spirit.
Nurture your body, heal your heart, experience your breath, open to spirit.
Nurture your body, heal your heart, experience your breath, and open to spirit.
So that's what we'll sing in between each world. And we'll go through it maybe twice each time. So let's do it all together. And I know it can be weird with Zoom. You can mute yourself, unmute yourself. I don't really care if the sound is kind of off. But let's just sing it together. Earth, Asiya, water, Yetzirah, air, Bria, and fire, Atzilut. Earth, my
body,
water, my
water, my
blood, air, my
breath, and fire, my spirit.
We're both waiting for each other. Nurture your
Nurture your
body,
body,
and
heal your heart,
experience
experience
your
your
breath,
breath,
and
and
open
open to spirit. Beautiful. So let's go to the first cup. And the first cup, we fill our glass with all white wine or grape juice. I'm going to go get mine now. And we start with white wine because white resembles the world of spirit. It's more, whereas red is more gevura, harsh, physical, and coarse. White corresponds more with chesed, but also with the world of spirituality, ruchnius. And so we fill up our first cup with white wine.
Sorry.
So we'll say the blessing together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. So there's no obligation like in the Pesach Seder. We just get to have fun with the 4 cups, but there's no obligation you have to drink. But it's a good opportunity to say blessings, to say amen, and really taste the divinity, because this is a time to refine our sense of taste and eating, which is so awesome that we have this avoda, we have this spiritual work of this month. just eat and enjoy. It's like the best invitation. So the first cup of wine corresponds to the world of Atzilut, which is the world of spirit. Atzilut is like the world of emanation. It's very beyond us. It's hard to explain because it's just the essence of it all. It's the highest world, closest to Keter, which is the divine crown. And the element corresponding with Atzilut is fire, and it corresponds with spring. And in God's name, it's the letter Yud. And we don't eat any fruit on this stage because it's beyond the world of physicality. It's just the world of spirit. So as we're drinking the first cup, does someone want to read the quote here under cup 1? About the essence. It says the essence of divinity.
Okay, I will. Cup 1. The
Yeah,
essence.
Yep.
Okay, the essence of divinity is found in every single thing. Nothing but it exists, since it causes everything to be. No thing can live by anything else. It enlivens them. Divinity exists in each existent. Do not say this is a stone and not God. God forbid. Rather, all existence is God, and the stone is a thing pervaded by divinity. And that was said by Moses Cordovero in the 16th century.
Nice. So the Yud in God's name corresponds to fire, and the essence. It's the spark, it's the origin of all life. And if you look at any Hebrew letter, the very first point is pen to paper. It's like that origin, that dot of life. And from the Yud, all of God's name comes to be. The Hey has a Yud, the Vav has a Yud, the final Hey. All of the Hebrew letters start with the Yud. So it represents that tiny speck, that from this tiny speck of this tiny point, everything manifests, everything births. And the Yud is often known as the seed, like the sperm, a tiny, tiny sperm, but yet contains infinite potential and life. And it's the origin. And that's the world of Atzilut. It's like the spark of fire, the spark, the very creative and a point of just infinite possibilities. So it's an exciting time to begin because we're in that place of spring, of open possibilities. So let's find the season within us by bringing the hands to the heart. I invite you to close your eyes. You don't have to. And feel the seraph, which is the heart of the tree, in yourself. Feel an awakening or a budding or a regeneration of the heart. And if you can't feel it, simply visualize blossoming of the heart. And the color of Tiferet is green. So like the spring green colors of sprouting of life. Feel that sense of possibilities, the revival that comes with spring. And ask yourself, what is budding within you? Maybe for some, you have a word of hope. Maybe it's a visual of some fruit that comes out, a color, a feeling, any sort of arousal. And with the hands on the heart, let's take a deep inhale, the inhale of spring. Filling up the heart with this spring consciousness. The feeling of full aliveness, opening to the miraculous. Feel this inhale as a place of becoming. Just like the trees are inviting in the saraf, we're also allowing the sweet nectar of life to rise up within us. Feel the pleasure of this warm, sweet nectar heart. And then open your eyes and let's just rub the palms together for the element of fire to generate lots of heat, passion, warmth, focused devotion, and anywhere on the body that needs some warmth or healing or attention, just simply set the palm on that place in the body. Could be over the eye sockets, the low belly, the heart, the throat. Soak in the warmth. Absorb the heat that you created, opening up to the element of fire. And release the hands. And just to get a little break of movement, the pose that most connects to spring for me and for the Tiferet Saraf is tree pose. And we can't go through TuB'Shevat without tree pose. So if you would like to enter in tree pose, let's bring the feet hip width distance. Bring the hands onto the hips and just pop the knee forward and out. And you can just stay right here, kickstanding the foot so the toes are down. It's not about how high you can go, it's feeling the Tiferet tree. So stay right here. If you want to lift the sole of the foot, either below the knee or above the knee, and then bring the prayer hands together and like the Saraf rising, lift the hands to the sweet nectar heart that you have created. We are now Tiferet trees. And then feeling this aliveness of spring, we can grow our branches tall, open our palms like leaves opening to the sunlight, letting the tree of life express through you. Maybe your hands are full of fruits that you're offering. Maybe not yet, but we're growing towards that point. And exhale, release the hands, bring the knee forward and down, and just roll out that ankle. Feeling that movement from the winter stiffness and stuckness into warmth and openness and life. Just through those circles of the ankle, we can feel the saraf beginning to rise, the sap, the warmth. And then set the right toes down, hands on the hips, pop the left knee forward and out, kickstand the toes down into the earth. This side may be completely different. Find your stability first, and then let the left sole of the foot soar below the knee or above the knee, making that suction between sole of the foot and inner thigh. You can visualize your roots planting down. Remember, the tree of life had roots. The tree of knowledge did not. So grow those roots from that right sole of foot, connecting to the land, connecting to our ancestors, the foremothers, to our sense of earth and belonging. And then visualize that warm nectar sap rising up the right leg into the heart, the to ferret the heart of your tree, circulating breath of warmth around the heart. And you can stay right here, or you can grow your branches. Actually, the word Shvat from Shvatim means branch. The different tribes of Israel, the different paths that we take, the different expressions of the tree of life that we take on, opening the palms and giving out our offerings to the world, or just opening to the divine light. And bring the hands to the hips, bring the knee forward and down, roll out that ankle. The body really gets stiff in the winter, and we need the movement of the sap. We need the seasons. We need our embodiment and breath work to get out of that stuckness into openness. So anything that needs circles, maybe rolling the shoulders, maybe you need to roll the hips, the chest. There's no right or wrong movements. Just feel the rising sap. And that white wine really helps, didn't it, for this? Nice. And then a full inhalation for the spring. Plant the feet down. Inhale the hands overhead, filling up with spring, with life, reaching the fingertips high. We're reaching for the summer. We're not there yet, but we're growing with hope. And exhale, we'll step forward, and Ariella is going to lead us in our fire ritual for this cup.
I feel like each of these could be 4 hours long.
Don't worry, guys, we won't do that.
No. So if you have a candle, you can bring it by your screen. If not, I will share the light of my candle and Jenna hers. Beautiful. This is also an opportunity for us to hear your names. Who are you? So the idea here is to think about, when you're lighting your candle, something inside of you that is rising, that you're excited about, that you love, that's meaningful. And if you're having a hard time thinking about something that's exciting for you or blossoming in your life, an idea that I heard and really resonates is going back to when you were a kid or a child and thinking about what got you so happy, and connecting to that, and maybe making an intention to connect to that during this springtime. So if you feel comfortable when you share your name to also share that intention, we'd love to hear it. And I'll model what we're thinking. So I'm going to take my match. I'm going to use my Hebrew name, which is my first name and my mother's name. So I'm Ariella Sharon Bat, daughter of Razel. So now I'm going to light my candle. Whoops. The power of fire. I'm going to put it here. There. Wow, it really Zoom makes candles look better. And I'll say that my intention is to create with my hands. Oh, it went out. To create with my hands objects to adorn my home and my body and my life with. Who would like to go next?
Okay. All right. Here goes. I'll use my Hebrew name also. Zaheva, and Bat Natina, my mother's name, and daughter of Natina, which means gift. And I just want to share that I think we all on this plane, on this earth, are reflecting something from above. So it's very difficult concept what we're all trying to learn here, but I'm trying to figure out what is the purpose, what is our purpose, and that my intention is that I'll figure it out and do that this year, whatever it is I'm meant to do on this plane. And thank you, Jenna, for leading us through this. And that's it.
Beautiful. I'll go next. I'm Chana Natina Bat Matzler Zahava. And here's my fire. And my intention is that my fire is not distracted and lost, but that rather it's a focused devotion, and that my fire is persevering, and it's the guiding light that brings me forward. Instead of a fire of destruction and chaos, I am a fire sign, so I have a lot on this. I just hope that this helps channel my fire towards Netzach, persevering in my intentions, in my work and my goals.
Nice.
Anyone else want to go? Oh, you're on. I can't hear you, Amy. Try now. I still can't hear you. Oh no. Yeah, I can't hear. If you want, you could type it in the chat box, or maybe sign off and sign back on. Sometimes that helps. While we're waiting, does someone else want to go? And I also want to say, anyone who's watching this recording, I know a lot of people want to do this on their own. Even though it feels weird to like say it out loud by yourself, there's a power in spoken intentions and affirmation, because as we talk through the worlds, speech is a more physical plane, the worlds of Asiya, the worlds of action, and it brings our higher intention from Atzilut through the worlds of Bria, of Yetzira, into the world of action. And speech helps our intention be more tangible and manifest in this world. So even if you're alone, pause the video and just speak it out loud and light your candle. Jessica, I accidentally disabled my can't turn it back on. I'm Jessica, daughter of Phyllis, granddaughter of Florence and Esther, great-granddaughter of Josephine, Rosalia, Sarah, and Rachel Rose. Wow, beautiful names. I would like to honor my creativity and talent in the upcoming year. Beautiful. Oh, there's her candle. Amen. Amy, do you want to try speak now and see if it works? Still no, I can't hear. So maybe just type it in the chat box. You have a candle. Okay. So type it and I'll read it out loud for you. It's hard not to have a voice. My name is Ruth Danner Bat Francis Grossman. Beautiful. My intention is to express my fire in my words and pictures, sharing my heart. Beautiful. Oh, lovely. So anyone else, I'm going to play this song from the TuB'Shevat playlist, and I'll share this with you guys after. It's called Light My Soul, Ruach Neshama by Ariel Roots. And in this song, I encourage you to journal about your fire, about your intention. You could draw, you could move, you could drink the wine, process. This is the time to just be in the world of Atzilut. Feel the fire. You guys hear the song? So I'm gonna dance, but whatever you guys need to do to feel the fire.
Will they keep me from growing older? Through the glass steps emerge, tempting winds dance across my eyes. A fluttering of the flock, a shuddering of the sky.
I'd encourage you to move like a flame and let the visual of the sway of the flame to just sway you.
Light my soul. Scatter shards through my bedroom to help me feel the seasons change. It's a tragedy when you can't shut out the cold. There's a majesty in lighting your soul. Light my 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 soul.
Ah, beautiful. So before we move on from fire, we have to just mention that the Or HaGanuz is the primordial light, the fire that is not the physical fire, but the spiritual fire. And when we light the menorah, we see the Or HaGanuz, we bring it in, but also it's woven into creation. And so every physical fire has also the element of the primordial light that it says Adam saw from one end of the world to the other with it. And Moshe at the burning bush, it was that spiritual fire that didn't consume. So I bless us all to tap into the Or HaGanuz, the hidden light within, that no matter how dark we feel or how defiled we may be, we can always find that spark of the pure spark within, and let that illuminate and expand. So moving on to the second cup of wine, it's the mostly white wine. You can use the same cup or a different one with a drop of red to symbol the world of Bria, of creative thought. And this is the season of summer, the element of air and the first hay in God's name. So let's fill up the wine, white wine with a drop of red. And while we're drinking that cup, can someone read the quote under cup 2?
I'll read it. Rabbi Yossi taught God has a tree of flowering souls in paradise. That one, right? Yeah. The tree is surrounded by the 4 winds of the world. From the branches of this tree sprout forth all souls, for they grow upon this tree, as it is written, I am a cypress tree in bloom, your fruit issues forth from me. And from the roots of this tree sprout the souls of all the righteous ones whose names are inscribed there. From this, we learn that all souls are the fruits of the Holy One, blessed be.
Beautiful. So Bria is the world of creative thought. And the element of air is likened to thought, because air is about mental agility. It's about flexibility. It's about being able to go beyond the realm of our limitations and imagine possibilities. It's the power of holy imagination, of visualization, which is why I love this quote about the flowering souls in paradise. So the element of air, it helps us move and change in the season, and it's the element of Shvat. And it's no coincidence that we came out of the Parsha last week with the song of Miriam, which represents the unobstructed breath, because the highest point, as I mentioned, of the air is song. But before there's song, there's just breath. And just like God spoke the world into being, so divine speech is what created the world. Before the articulation of speech, there's just breath, the supernal breath. And before any letter, there's just the exhale. So the letter corresponding with air is the hay. And the hay just sounds like an exhale. It's the song of Miriam, the unobstructed breath. It's the divine exhale. And we know that through the divine exhale, Adam was created. Through the breath of his nostrils, God blew a breath of life into Adam. So every divine exhale is our inhale. We're receiving air. We're receiving life on the divine exhale. And if you look at the hay looks like this. And there's a little window at the top. And that window allows air and breath to flow through and down the letter. So whereas het is a closed letter, there's no room to let in anything new. It's closed. And there's like a roof above. You could fall from below because if you don't have connection to the realms above. The hay is the perfect letter of the flow of air, of receiving to give. It's the feminine letter in God's name. So whereas the yud was the sperm, the seed, the hay is the feminine. It's like receiving the sperm, coming into the womb, birthing something new. And that's what breath does. We receive life and we give off through our blessings, through our song, through our voice. So it's a really great element to tap into, just feeling our breath and using that breath for song. So do you want to lead the song, Ariella, going into this cup? We could sing it all together.
Yeah, it's the same song we've been doing. So it's also in the chat if you want to look at the words.
So let's do it together.
Yeah, we'll do it together just once. just one time.
Okay. Earth,
Basira,
Basira, water, Yatsira, air, Bria, and fire, Atzilut. Earth, my body,
and water,
water, my
my
blood,
air,
air, my breath, and
fire,
fire,
my
my
spirit.
spirit.
Nurture
Nurture your
body
body,
and heal
heal
your
your
heart.
heart.
Experience
Experience your breath,
and open
open
to
to
spirit.
spirit. So let's take a deep inhale and pause at the top of our inhale into our summer. The world of Bria is summer, feeling the fullness of the air quality. And dwelling in the top of the inhale, we feel a radiant light emerge, fully revealing yourself as you are, without anything hidden, without distortions, just like us under the full moon, nothing is hidden. Everything about you is revealed, and it's okay. And when we have this point of radiance, we can also begin to shed our light outwards. So it's an outward season of giving our light, giving our gifts. So take a scan through the body and just notice where you feel this sense of completeness. Where is your peak inside of you? What part of you is shining and revealed? And when you locate that point, use the element of air, use your breath to expand it and breathe that summer quality through your body. Every breath pumping in the light of summer, your gifts that are needed for the world. And Bria is the world of visualization, of creative thought. So to the mind's eye, let's bring the visual of summer, which is a flower. The flower is beautiful yet ephemeral. So see the flower in all its shining beauty. Yet we know that summer flows into fall and that the flower petals wilt. And that's the delicate beauty of our summer periods and our full moon periods, is that when there's a full moon, there's always the waxing and the waning. Summer moving into fall. So when we're at the peak, we want to take all the insight, all the light, all the inspiration, and bring it with us as we descend into our fall period. So let's come into a full star pose, which is the pose of summer. Bring the toes outwards, the heels in, reach the fingertips wide, like you're spewing light from the fingers, from the toes in all directions. You are the sun. You are illuminating your surroundings. Feel your heart shining, the front body, the back body, the right side, the left side. Heels are hugging in, but we're expanding from the sides. The power of your light to illuminate your atmosphere. And release. And Ariella will lead us in the ritual of air.
Thank you, Jenna, and thank you, everybody. I also just want to invite people to notice like which season feels easier, which feels harder, which one you can relate to more, and just take note of that. And maybe that's where some of the work is going to be happening for you in these next few months. I know I kind of struggle with summer. That's why I bring that up. It's like I'm more of a hibernator, like to figure out what that spark is, but full expression can be hard for me. Like even just like standing up in a posture that's open and taking up space can be hard. Letting my air flow free, you know, in song and smell and whatever can be a challenge. So just curious where everyone else is with that. So we can use the fire that we have here already to light some incense. I have a sage bushel. And if you don't have incense, that's fine too. You could even just watch. I think you'll be able to see that my incense, I don't know, can you see? Maybe not. But the point of this is to kind of notice how air kind of just flows, how we, especially when we're really full, if you ever notice when you're feeling your fullest and highest self, you're able to kind of move with the flow better. You're able to notice the hand of the divine. And in Judaism and Hebrew, there's a word called hashgacha pratis. It means kind of like divine providence. And when we're really full and just brimming with life, we kind of notice the flow, and we can get in the flow and move freely and not be as stiff, be more open, like that star pose. This is kind of just an inspiration for that. Just noticing how air moves and how we can move when we're really feeling at our best, fullest. I can see yours, Jenna. Flowing. That's cool. And you know, something beautiful about air and incense and smell is that it really does connect us to our soul. According to Jewish thought and wisdom, smell is sort of, and even if you think about it scientifically, we say we can smell fear. They say that we're attracted to our friends and partners because of the way they smell. It really is something that can guide us to be as full as possible. So it's beautiful to witness that. Thanks.
So I'm going to turn on our song for summer, which is called I Am Woman. And it's just about being who we are in our fullness, in all of our parts, fully revealed, nothing to hide. And while we're either listening, you can visualize or gaze at your incense, meditate on the air. You can dance. You can also eat the fruits of this world, which are holy edible fruits. This is the world of Bria. And whereas we didn't have fruits last world, Atzilut was beyond physical. Now we're eating fruits that are wholly edible. So that means if you have grapes, figs, etrogs, blueberries, lemons, pears, raspberries, strawberries, and you can unmute yourself and say a blessing if you would like. I'll turn on the song now, and we'll take this song to feel the air pumping through us, feel the song, the flow, and the mental agility, the flexibility of air. This is called I Am Woman. So just being in our full summer mode of who we are. All right. Love this song.
I am woman, I am fearless, I am sexy, I'm divine, I'm unbeatable, I'm creative, honey, you can get in line. I am feminine, I am masculine, I am anything I want. I can teach you, I can love you if you got it going on. If you got it, if you got it going on. of the future, speak to me kindly. Ask for what I want, and somehow it find me. Somehow it find me. Somehow it find me. Yeah, hey, hey. I am woman, I am fearless, I am sexy, I'm divine, I'm unbeatable, I'm creative, honey, you can get in line. I am feminine, I am masculine, I am anything I want. I can teach you, I can love you if you got it going on. If you got it, got it, got it, got it, got it, got it. If you got it, got it, got it, got it, got it going on. If you got it, got it, got it, got it, got it, got it. If you got it, got it, got it, got it, got it going on. Got it going on. Got it, got it, got it, got it, got it going on. Got it, got it, got it, got it, got it going on. Yeah, yeah. Eat no evil, speak no evil. I am not the one to cross. We can talk that shit about you long as you know that it's false. I am earthly, I am heaven, I am what I like to be. When I ask for what I want, somehow it find me. Somehow it find I am woman, I am fearless, I am sexy, I'm divine, I'm unbeatable, I'm creative, honey, you can't get in line. I am feminine, I am masculine, I am anything I want. I can teach you, I can love you if you got it going on. If you got it, got it, got it, got it. Got it, got it, got it going on. Got it going on.
Woo! So if anyone wants to eat their fruit, I have over here fruits of Bria. Also, before we move on from Bria, this is the world where souls and angels are created. So we're bringing in a lot of energies here. So let's sing the song into our third cup. Back to our nigun. So you can
my body
body,
and water
water my
my
blood,
air
air my breath,
and fire my
my
spirit,
spirit,
earth Asiya, water,
water Yatsira,
air
air
Bria, and fire Atzilum.
Yatsilu,
Nurture your body and
body,
heal your heart.
heart,
Experience
experience your
breath and open to spirits.
third cup of wine, guys. We're in the world of Yetzirah, the world of formation, the world of feeling. And like it says in the song, Yetzirah is water, the feeling is water of the heart. So you can fill your cup with half red and half white wine. So we're getting more and more towards closer and closer to the full red, which is full physical, but we still have the spiritual dimension of Atzilut and half of the physical dimension, and it's a merging of physical and spiritual, of matter and spirit. And this is the season of fall. The feeling of is the water through the heart. The Hebrew letter is the Vav. And we eat fruits that are wholly edible except for their pits. So like olives or dates, for example. So let's begin by, could someone read the quote for this world under cup 3?
The world was created by God's beauty. The deeps were set ablaze by his beauty. The firmaments were kindled by his radiance. The angels burst out of his stature. The mighty exploded from his crown, and the precious erupted from his garment. And all of the trees and grasses came forth, exulting from his joy.
So this just feels like a lot of feeling, which is bursting of Yetzirah, and the pouring of the water on the altar of Sukkot represented our utmost joy, when our water is just like flowing from the heart. And the Rebbe Rashab has a meditation called loving like water, and that it's the highest form of love is a flowing water from the heart. So the Hebrew letter Vav represents a downward flow from above to below. So God's name began with the Yud, the fire. Then we had the first Hey, which was air. And then the Vav is water, because water flows from above to below, just like water everywhere we see is an analogy for Torah. And Torah started in the upper realms, but flowed downward, descended into this lowly earthly plane. So the water is like a downward, always goes to the lowest place. And the Vav is that connector of the spiritual and the physical, just like we have half red and half white. It's the merging of the two. Whenever I'm in mountain pose, like in yoga, standing in mountain pose, I feel that Vav connector. The crown is reaching to the heavens, the feet are reaching below. And it represents the tree of life also, because whereas a tree's roots are from below, our roots are from above. So the Vav, I like to visualize as a waterfall, just an abundance coming downwards and into the soles of the feet and down. So you can even stand up and feel that sense of being a Vav with our spine resembles a Vav. We are an upright vertical spine, just like a tree, that a tree connects above and below. We are standing upright, unlike an animal where the heart and the mind is on one plane. Our crown reaches up to the heavens. The Arizal taught his students to regularly look up, because our spine was made in a way that we can easily look up and gaze to where our source is from, to remember the bounty comes from above. And feel that connection between heaven and earth, the crown and the soles of the feet, the white wine and the red wine merging in our physical vessel of the body. And you can imagine a waterfall pouring down from above over the crown of your head, down the spine, down into the earth. The zodiac of the Shvat is the Dali, the Aquarius, which is a water pourer. It's the water that is coming from above to nourish the dry earth below. And that downward descent of the waterfall, you can visualize it just pouring down your back, is the movement of fall, of releasing downwards, of letting go from the fullness of summer, which is at the top of the inhale. The exhalation we feel as the descent, the waterfall pouring down. And as the water pours down, feel your body release. Let something go. You can even fold into a forward bend. If that helps, really release and let go, palms to the earth. You can bend the knees as much as you need, pouring downwards, letting gravity just pull you downwards into the earth. Pouring water from the hips over the legs. And bend the knees and slowly inhale your way back up to standing, feeling that love sign. So we're going to go into our ritual. If you have your rock and your water bucket, you can bring it now, and Ariella will lead us into our ritual.
Yeah. So before we go into the ritual, I also want to bring to everyone's attention again, like, is one season, one world feeling more natural? So for me, for example, it's very easy to be flexible, to let go, to give in, to surrender. But sometimes I notice if I don't have that strength of the summer and that fullness, I can be too flexible. I might let go too much and therefore have resentment or weakness in my body. So all the seasons need each other. To really be able to do a beautiful forward fold or be flexible in yoga, you need the strength. And also in life, if we want true flexibility, we need to be able to flexibility we don't end up resenting, like, I did so much for that person. That if we don't have the strength, the boundaries of knowing ourselves and knowing what is okay and not okay, we can be too flexible. So just honoring how these are all interconnected, I think, is really special. So I have a rock. I got this from a beach. If you don't have a rock, you can also use paper. And I'll just invite everybody to, on your rock or paper, to write something that you'd like to let go of, or something you'd like to surrender to or be more flexible with. And if you want, you can write in the chat what you've written on your rock. If not, no worries. So we'll take a second to write. And then if you have water, the idea here was to put this rock in water. If you don't have water, maybe you can put the rock in your shower or in your bath tomorrow, and just, it can be there as a reminder when you're showering, which showering is a great experience of letting go. Going to the mikvah, the ritual bath, is a great time of letting go. So this rock that you've written on can be also that reminder for you every morning when you're showering. It's also interesting because this ritual was kind of, that we came up with, is borrowed from the ritual of Tashlich that we do in the fall between Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, and Yom Kippur. We meditate on what we're trying to let go of, what we want to release, and we throw it into the water, specifically where there are fish, so that the fish can eat them and can transform them and uplift whatever it is we're trying to let go of. And then should I just go into the fruit? Is that
Sure.
okay, Jenna?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're in the world of Yetzirah, again, feelings, and the fruits that represent this world are ones that are edible on the outside, but have a pit or a large seed on the inside. So I have a date. Other fruits might be a mango, an apricot, an avocado. And I kind of like to think about what this fruit being associated with this world, because it's like you're creating, you're getting somewhere, you're flowing, but then often we get to this like blocking point. And that's kind of the pit. However, this pit is actually a seed. So it can actually be planted and transformed. It's not actually a stumbling block. It's a potential for new and incredible things. So if you want, whatever you happen to be eating, you can save it, the seed, and plant it. Just like we should do with the stumbling blocks we come upon, we can use them as opportunities to get somewhere even better. And I guess, Jenna, you'll introduce the song and all of that.
This is called Mother of the Water. And you can also throw your pit into the water if you don't have a rock. But also after we throw the rock in, we can visualize as we listen to the song, the ripples that it creates in the bowl. And yeah, I think it's interesting that in Tevet, a month of anger, one of the avodas of Tevet to release your anger is the ritual is going into a mikvah. And that's because the fire element in us sometimes can be intense. The anger can freeze somewhere in our body. It can be a frozen image, and like that anger will settle and not leave us. And water is the world of connecting back to our source. It's the world of becoming. It's the revival. And it's amazing that we can, if we just dip in water and let that cleansing water release anything stuck, like the rock or anything that holds us back from becoming fluid, letting the waters just transform us. So here's Mother of the Water.
Mother of the water, Mother of us all, dreams a new beginning, streams and waterfalls. Mother of the water, Mother of us all, dreams and new beginnings, flowing over all. Mother of the water, Mother of us all, dreams and new beginnings, streams and waterfalls. Mother of the water, Mother of us all, dreams and new beginnings, flowing over all. Mother of the water, Mother of us all, dreams and new beginnings, streams and waterfalls. Mother of the water.
Jenna, can I just share something about the water that came to me during that song?
Yeah.
I was thinking about how water is a very feminine symbol in Judaism. And the idea of being able to let go and transform is a very feminine quality. If you just think of like pregnancy and birth, you're 1, and then you're 2, and then you're weaning, and then you're allowing your child to become their own human being. And it's such a beautiful quality to be able to continue to cycle through changes like the moon, and to continue to evolve and transform. It's such a gift that the feminine women have. Um, but I think the shadow side of that, and what we need to kind of be cautious about in this very masculine world that we live in, is when that's being taken advantage of, or we're letting go of things that we might not want to let go of, or we're flowing in a direction where we don't want to flow. So I think with each of these worlds, it's important to notice that it can uplift us and take us to this beautiful place, but that same energy could take us somewhere we don't want to go. Like if we are tapping into the wrong spark that someone else planted within us. If we're full, but we're full of something that's not actually what we want. And if we're flowing and letting go of things. So that came to me during the song of like the beauty of being able to let go and transform, but also being cautious about that in this world and in our lives. Yeah.
Thank you for bringing that in. And the Tanya, written by the Alter Rebbe, goes through each element and says the shadow side of the element and the positive side. So it's our work to refine all of them within us and see where there's also excess, where we need more of, and then within each element itself, work to balance. So let's move into the song, into cut 4.
Earth Asiya, water Yetzirah, air Bria, and fire Atzilus. Earth my
body,
and
water my
blood,
blood,
air
my breath, and
fire
fire my spirit.
Nurture
Nurture
your
your
body
body,
and heal your heart. Experience your breath
breath,
and open
open
to
to
spirit.
spirit. Welcome to the 4th world of Asiya, of action. We get to fill our cups up with all red wine, the very most physical plane. We're in the element of earth. This is the season of winter. And in God's name, it is the final hay, so also the feminine letter. And it's the feminine hay of Malchus, of earth, where everything lands. It's the kingdom of life that takes in all the elements so that life can emerge. From the earth, all is manifested. And the Zohar teaches that the Shekhinah, the feminine divine presence, resides in the altar of the earth. But as we know, the earth can feel dark and uncertain. We just emerged from the dark winter, the hibernation, the period of below ground. And it's not a coincidence that this Malchus, that feminine divine presence, is beneath the ground, because it's similar to the womb, where inside the womb it's complete darkness, but it's only a darkness so that a birth can happen and a regrowth. So whereas winter is the end of the cycle, it's also the beginning. And Malchus is the connector between all 4 worlds. So Malchus receives all the light from the world above her and then births into the world below. So it is the ultimate receiving in order to give. It's the flow of energy through the worlds, just like the womb receives sperm and grows and expands and creates a whole new world comes out. So although water is feminine, like Ariella said, this is the most feminine world of connected to Malchus. And Malchus is also the queenship, is connected to the new moon, the dark moon. So this is the world of hiddenness. It's a time of, in the winter, we hide from the public, from the light, and we hibernate inwards and we retreat. So will someone read the quote by Rabbi Nachman of Breslov right under the cup 4, where it says, every blade of grass?
I can read it, Jenna.
Okay.
Every blade of grass sings to the Holy One wholeheartedly, without reservations, without anticipation of reward. How wonderful it is when one hears their song. How very good to be among them, serving God in awe.
So everything arises from the earth. Even the grass is praising Hashem. And the Shekhinah is with us in our joy when we're praising, but also with us in our pain. And we learn that when the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, the Shekhinah, the feminine presence of God that lived in the Beis Hamikdash, where did it go when it was destroyed? It says that the Shekhinah went with us, in us, in our exile, in our pain. So it's really from the earth, the darkness, that emerges the greatest songs of praise. So let's find our last meditation feet, feeling this quality of earth. So first, letting gravity really sink us downwards, feeling the feet resting on the ground, the adamah, feeling the hips heavy, grounded. Let the shoulders drop down towards the hips. And we'll pause at the end of our exhale. So whatever cycle you're in, on your natural rhythm of breath, bring awareness to the end of your exhalation, feeling that place of emptiness and darkness, hibernation and stillness. Notice where in your body feels still, feels like a place of pure being. And feel safe in your body, secure and grounded, like you're being supported by the Adamah. And scanning the body, finding any pockets of darkness, maybe uncertainty or pain. And allowing yourself to dwell there, knowing that you're not alone there, but that the Shekhinah, the feminine presence of God, is with you there in that dark winter. And let those places be embraced by the Shekhinah, with the Shekhinah. Feeling safe to experience your inner winter. Trusting in the earth beneath you and trusting the divine within you. And beneath the soles of the feet, you can visualize new seeds that are germinating beneath the ground. So in your uncertainty, in the darkness, remembering those seeds that are waiting to blossom, that are waiting to sprout for you. And open your eyes. Giving ourselves permission to take retreats is a really important piece in honoring our winter. Allowing ourselves to find pockets of stillness, go inwards. And I think the Jewish calendar gives us so many opportunities for retreat, to restore. So we'll go into our ritual with Ariella, having this in mind about both winter being a place of stillness and hibernation, and also being a potential for darkness and uncertainty. Yet in those places, we plant the most seeds of regeneration.
Thank you, Jenna. Thank you for all of these meditations that are really elemental meditations. Because we're at the final world, so we started way up in Atzilut, the world of spirit, and we've come all the way down to the world of Asiya, the world of action. And in our own bodies, the breath is so connected to the pelvis. You know, like in order for your womb, your pelvic floor to function, no matter what stage of life you are in, the breath is the gateway to a beautiful womb balance. And so there really is this connection in our own bodies, which is incredible, between spirit and breath and earth and malchut. So keeping that in mind, this is probably my favorite of the activities because I happen to be very passionate right now about working with literal earth. The Hebrew word for earth is Adamah, which Jenna had mentioned, and it has the word Adam, man, in it, and it also has the word Dam, blood, in it. So it's like super connected to physicality. It's amazing how the Hebrew language connects so beautifully to the world and to our bodies. So I don't know if you all have clay around. If you don't, you could take something mushy in your hand,
An
something like
apricot.
tactile, a flower, even a stick, something that connects you to earth, to nature, to even just your ability to create. Malchut also, her role is the ability to take things that are around and transform them. So whether it's a little piece of mud, or if it's cooking in the kitchen, these are all malchut activities. Like in a sense, challah is kind of like making challah dough is kind of like working with mud in a way. So yeah, I invite you, maybe as the song plays, and after the song, we can eat some fruit. Jenna can play an earthy song for us, and I invite you to either make something. I'm being called to make a bowl right now, a mini bowl. I don't know what it will hold. You can also think about, if you have clay or mud, like what's something in your life that you would like a vessel for. It could be something practical like your car keys or your glasses, or it could be something more less tactile like anger or love. Maybe your love needs a vessel. So if you don't have the clay in your hand, you can also just think about that or draw it out. And we will have the song play as we craft away. Jen, are you on the song? Let's see, I can also play.
This is called My Body is My Body because it's connected to our earthly body, our vessel.
My body is mine. My body is fly. My body is beautiful. My body is bold. My body is mine. My body is fly. My body is beautiful. My body is bold. My body is mine. My body is fly. My body is beautiful. My body is bold. My body is mine. My body is fly. My body is beautiful. My body is bold. My body is mine. My body is fly. My body is beautiful. My body is bold. My body is mine. My body is fly. My body is beautiful. My body is bold. My body is mine. My body is fly. My body is beautiful. My body is bold. My body is mine. My body is fly. My body is beautiful. My body is bold. My body is mine. My body is fly. My body is beautiful. My body is bold. My body is mine. My body is fly. My body is beautiful. My body is bold. My body is mine. My body is fly. My body is beautiful. My body is bold. My body is mine. My body is fly. My body is beautiful. My body is bold. My body is mine. My body is fly. My body is beautiful. My body is bold. My body is mine. My body is fly. My body is beautiful. My body is bold. My body is mine. My body is fly. My body is beautiful. My body is bold. My body is mine.
I made a little
Wow.
mouth. That's what I
Oh,
made.
I thought it was a
I'm now
vagina.
inspired to make little mouth vases. Yeah, something that I was just thinking about with why we chose a song about the body, as Jen, I think, mentioned, the body itself is also associated with the world of action because we act using our bodies. So interestingly enough, the fruit that we eat associated with this world are fruits that have a peel but are edible on the inside. So an orange, a grapefruit, a pomegranate. And the peel is like, you can see the peel in so many ways. And I want to invite everybody to try to think about seeing the peel in a different way. So you could see the peel as like a barrier. Oh, you have to take the peel off to get to the goodness. That's one way of seeing our bodies. You know, our bodies are just here, and what really matters is our soul. Another way to see the peel is protection. Protecting this beautiful, juicy, incredible soul thing. And that's another way you can see your body. It's like this protective wrapping of your soul. And so it deserves to be loved and cared for and treated and elevated. So the next time you're peeling a fruit, whether it's right now or tomorrow, really honor that peel. It's not, necessarily something that's in Hebrew we call it klipa, like a barrier. It can also be a beautiful protective quality, and also recognizing that all of us have these barriers, protective bodies that we walk around with. And so when we're talking to somebody, maybe you can think about, how can I peel them? Not like obviously literally, but how can I get to know them? What's a way I can help shed their peels? And seeing that as a way to get to know somebody and being gentle and kind about it. Because everybody, like we read in the beginning, there are 5,000 different fruits or something. That's a lot of different peels. So, cheers. Okay, so we're gonna close this wonderful TuB'Shvat Seder. Wow, Jenna, good job. I know sometimes we can go over, but it's been exactly 2 hours. And I think, yeah, exactly. This is beautiful because what I just said leads into this next exercise. I want everybody who is able in this moment to think of a fruit that you love. It doesn't need to be a fruit that is associated with the Seder. It could be a star fruit, could be a blueberry. And if you don't mind either writing or vocalizing for all of us a blessing to everyone in this group, inspired by that fruit, we would love that. So I can try to model and go first. So I really love kiwis. And kiwis are kind of hairy. And and I actually just found out you can eat the outside of a kiwi. You can actually eat the skin. And a blessing I have for all women is to love the hair, like both the actual physical hair of our bodies, hair that is abundant, hair that is changing color, hair that is thinning, that hair, but also things that just make us a little hairy, like as in rough around the edges, to really kind of embrace that hair and wear it loud and proud, and let it run free and wild. So that's my kiwi blessing. Who would like to go next?
I will go next. Ariella was actually at my Shabbos table this week, and we ended with saying fruit blessings. And mine was the Rimon. And again, tonight, it's the Rimon, the pomegranate. I think it symbolizes all of TuB'Shvat for me. And I even have a mug with the Rimon. And the Torah says that there's 613 seeds, and each one is kerneled and protected. And there's a really hard shell, but within it, it represents like even someone who seems like they don't have any good deeds, inside we're filled with mitzvot, no matter how thick our peel is. But Kabbalistically, the Rimon is connected to the Sphira of Hod. We didn't go into it in this Seder, but every species of Israel is connected with one of the emotional sphirot in the tree of life. And the Rimon is the side of Hod, which means it's the Sphira of humility. It's of surrender, of softness, and of retreat, and of going inwards. And it's it's on the feminine side of the tree, the left side. And so I bless us all to have the glow of the Hod pomegranate and feel the humility when we eat fruit feel the humility as we see the light within other people, and feeling the divine presence so that we're humbled and the feeling of humility for me is a very earthly quality, like going closer to the earth. So I bless us all with the humility of the pomegranate, and knowing when to retreat instead of going forward, knowing when to step back instead of marching, and knowing when to hibernate and just come back into ourselves. Oh, I love your rimon. Thank you, Alana. Cradling it in your hands.
Jenna, do you want to read your mom's, or does your mom want to read it?
Oh yeah.
I can read it.
Yeah.
So the mango, because it's so sweet, it's difficult and it's messy to eat, but that's life. So, but it is my favorite fruit.
Anyone else?
The fruit that came to mind for me, probably because I'm feeling really excited to be supported by it tonight as I lead a Seder that will be using tree beverages instead of wine. And yeah, and I think I'm and I'm also doing it, I think, in the opposite direction, just because where we go from dark beverages to light. So I'm curious that will feel like. But wanting to bring in the spirit of the cacao fruit, which is so husked over and requires so much work to kind of like delight in it in order for us to finally meet its middle and its softness and its goodness. It takes like a ton of work to get inside of it, and just honoring those beings that don't melt and soften and fall into ease so quickly, and like the time and the work that it takes to really heal and soften. So blessing us all to be kind with the time and the effort that it takes to do the work that is ours to do in this world, and to know that though much of this work can be bitter, like the cacao, it's also inside of all of that effort, there's the opportunity to taste sweetness and to delight in sweetness. So just blessing us that we are able to find the sweetness even through all the effort and the bitter.
Amen.
Beautiful words.
Does anyone else want to share before we close?
I will. I'll piggyback on that because I had a similar sentiment. I have a date here, and I live in the Coachella Valley, which is near Palm Springs in California, and 90 or 95% of the dates in the United States are grown here, but they are not native, and it takes a lot of resources and a lot of effort to grow them. It takes a lot of water, which is scarce in California. It takes many years to grow the tree. They're hard to harvest with people who have to climb up the trees. So my blessing is that for everything you put your hard work and your effort and your blood, sweat, and tears into it, yes, may it be fruitful and may it be sweet and may it be worthwhile when you see the fruits of your labor.
Beautiful. Amen. Thank you. Amy, did you want to go before we end? You're typing it? Oh, Amy wrote, may you know you are filled with goodness in the land of the living. Your words truly be blessings in good time for yourself and others, like apples. Oh, I love that. Beautiful. Happy TuB'Shevat, everyone. Thank you so much. I bless us all with the rising sap, that the saraf should just flow freely. It should be a season of flowing wine, flowing wisdom, lots of growth, and may we be held by the circles that unite us all. Also, I will send you the playlist if you'd like. And if you have any questions or insight or want to reach out to Ariella or I, we're open. We're always available to keep the fat flowing.
Jenna, will you put your PayPal email in the chat one more time?
Oh, yeah, I will do that. And I hope your Seder goes well, Alana.
Thank you so much. Thank you. This was beautiful. I'm glad I got to be here for the last bit.
Yeah.
Thank you. I
Happy
enjoyed
TuB'Shevat,
it.
everyone.
Thank you.
Nice meeting
Bye.
everybody.
Yeah.
Nice meeting everyone.